Okay. I wanted to thank whoever the anonymous sponsor is. Baruch Hashem. We have a good streak going. So thank you for the sponsor. Our Torah learning and the brachot we make be the Refua Shelema and Lelu Nishmat, all the names that we said earlier. So in this week's parasha, it opens up with a very, very confusing, interesting story. Avraham Avinu is sitting there, he just performed Brit Milah, he just performed the bris for himself, and Hashem comes to visit him. Bikur Cholim. And the whole time Hashem is sitting there with Avraham Avinu, Avraham is just waiting. He's sitting in the tent in the opening of his tent, the doorway of the tent, and he's waiting, longing to do the mitzvah of Hachnasat Orchim, of inviting guests. Avraham's entire essence, his entire being, was all about doing chesed. And then, we know, Hashem sees Avram so thirsty for this mitzvah, so he sends 3 malachim, 3 angels come as if they were people. Avraham runs and he goes, greets them, and he brings them in, and there's so much Torah, so many ideas we could learn from this. But perhaps there's a very hidden concept that we have to look into over here. The Torah spends a lot of time detailing exactly what was going on. Avraham Avinu prepared a meal. He has Sarah Imenu to help prepare the meal. He has Yitzchak Yishmael to help prepare the meal. There's so much in the details of them washing their feet, and it seems like every aspect of what went on was detailed in the Torah. But we know that there are many, many years, right? Because the Torah is not recording every single thing that happened. There's so many details that we don't know. But here the Torah is spending so much time on all the specific nitty-gritty. So there's one thing that we have to see that's a beautiful concept. Avraham Avinu wanted to bring them each. We know he fed them. Who knows what he fed them? Cow tongue. Right? Lashon, he gave them a tongue, and he cooked it in. What was the magic ingredient? Mustard. Right? That's why if you check out a lot of stores, a lot of the Jewish places, they'll sell special this week cow tongue in mustard. Right? Because the parsha tells us literally that was the meal and that was the recipe. So it tells us that Avraham Avinu didn't take one tongue and slice up one tongue for all 3 to share. Avraham Avinu took 1 cow per malach, and each cow he took the tongue and made it for them. So the Midrashim explained to us that when Avram was going to catch the cow, one of the cows started running away. It says, El Bachor Ratza Avraham. Avraham ran after this cow. And when he ran to the cow, he finally caught up to the cow. Where was he? Marat HaMachpelah. What's Marat HaMachpelah? That's where Adam and Chava are buried. That's where Avraham buys to bury Sarah. Avraham winds up being buried there. Yitzchak, Rivka, Yaakov, Leah, and famously Esav's head, all wind up being buried there. That's right. It's in Hebron. It's a very, very holy. It's one of the holiest places in the world. Avraham Avinu only finds that spot after chasing after this cow. Now, Avraham Avinu was a very, very wealthy man. He didn't need this cow. Okay, I lost the cow. You know what? I have 3 very important guests. He ran after them. It tells us how careful he was for Hachnasas Orchim. Can you imagine? So careful. He ran away from Hashem talking to him to go greet the guests, to only chase a cow who ran away from him. Crazy question. So this idea, why did he specifically bring them cows? Well, why not fish? It seems like who cares, right? Who cares what the menu really was? So I saw this beautiful idea brought down. By fish, there is no shchita. There's no shachting of fish. If it's a kosher fish, it's a kosher fish. Go, eat it, fillet it, take out all the insides, and you're good to go. By a cow, there's all of the halacha of shchita. You have to make sure the knife is a good knife. You have to make sure you shachted it properly. And once you shachted it, you have to make sure that all the insides are okay and it's kosher, and you have to salt it. And all the halachot that go into shchita went into the cows. So it says, I forget which sefer I saw it in, maybe it was the Divrei Yisrael, The Divrei Yisrael of Moshe says like this. You know why Abraham chose a cow over a fish? Specifically because it has all the halacha of shechita. Meaning, whenever Saruman was a world-renowned chef, right? They were constantly feeding people. She could have made the fish taste amazing. They would have walked away. Wow. But Avraham Avinu said, you know what? I want even more mitzvahs to be involved in this process. Avraham Avinu had thousands and thousands, if not maybe millions of people come through his tent. And he said, I want each and every one of them to be filled with as many mitzvahs as possible. You are what you eat. So if you're eating more mitzvot, so you're filled with more mitzvah. You're ready for more kedusha. So therefore, Avraham said, I want specifically a cow so that they will have this idea of shechita in the food that they're eating that'll make an effect on who they are. So what do you see from here? Every single thing that we do, there's the right way, there's the other way, and then there's the way that has more connection to Torah and mitzvot. There's a way to do something that we shouldn't be doing. There's a way to do something that is good, it's totally okay, it's totally fine, there are no problems. And then there's the way to do it where it's filled with even more kedusha, even more mitzvot. They say that there's a story that there was a tzaddik in our generations, one of the two founders of Art School. You know, Art School, Gemara, Chumash, everywhere you go, Art School Sfarim. So one of the two of them passed away a few years ago. And they say that every single time when he was an adult, not when he was a kid, when he was an adult, every single time he passed the block that his parents lived on, he would come, he would stop, he would go say hello, he would visit his parents every single time. So he said, okay, I'm in a rush. I visit my parents, I call my parents every single day. I don't have time to make sure to visit them every time. Every single time he passed the block, he made sure to go visit his parents. There's another tzaddik, they say, that somebody once borrowed money from him. Now in the Torah, if somebody borrows money, you're not supposed to make them feel bad, right, about paying you back. So what did he do? This person lived on his way to shul. So every single day or every single Shabbat, he would pass this person's house. And he said, hold on, if I'm going to continue walking by, you know what that guy's going to think every single time I pass his house and he sees me? He's going to be reminded of the fact that he owes me this money. So he was already older, I'm going to go the long way to shul. I'm going to go the further way to Beit Knesset, around the guy's house so he can't see me. Because I don't want to cause this guy any aspect of pain that he owes me money and he doesn't have that money yet. So I'm going to go change my schedule, my system, my routine in order to create a less painful way for somebody else. Avraham Avinu tells us that you're able to fill every single act that you do with an even higher level of Kedusha. According to the Zohar, the cow that Abraham ran after, it wasn't a real cow. What do I mean? Meaning, Abraham created that cow from the Sefer Yetzirah. Okay, how that works, that's way beyond me. I can't tell you. But if the Zohar brings it down, we can at least say the Zohar tells us this. So Avraham Avinu ran after this. Literally, Avraham created this cow to be able to fulfill another mitzvah, another level of mitzvah. So as a result, what was Avraham's payoff? That cow brought him all the way to Marat HaMachpelah. When's Avraham Avinu take advantage of knowing Marat HaMachpelah is there? 38 years later. That's the time difference. From when this happens till Sari Mino dies is 38 years. Sometimes we do something and we say to Hashem, what's the point? Does my mitzvah really make a difference? Does it matter if I really I skip one day of tefillah, I'm too tired today. Is that such a big deal? So inside the answer is yes. But what's it do if you don't miss it? What am I going to benefit from it? You're right. You know what? You may not see the reward today. By Abraham, the benefit of chasing down that cow only comes 38 years later. Right? Safe to say, nobody in this room knows what 38 years means, right? So let alone waiting 38 years for one thing to happen. When we care about some of the minor details, then that guy, you're in a certain shul, and the guy's coming around and collecting tzedakah, right? So there are options. We have the option to blow the guy off, right? You're annoyed, leave me alone. I don't want to give you tzedakah. And you have the option of being a little bit better. Okay, I'll give you a little bit of tzedakah. And then you have the third option. I'm going to look at you, smile, and wish you a good day while I give you tzedakah. Is that necessary? Oh, you should do it anyways. But you still get the mitzvah of tzedakah if you hand the guy the dollar and you don't really look at him. Or you don't care. Or sometimes they put the dollar on the table and slide it to the guy, right? Like you can't even hand it to him. Okay? But when you look at the guy and you say, have a good day, good luck, you just totally transformed your mitzvah from like a good thing to an even more amazing thing. Avraham Avinu cared about every aspect of the mitzvah. So it wasn't just someone who said, oh, yeah, I want guests. And then you serve them like sub-quality food. Avraham said, I want guests, and I want to serve them on the finest china. I want to serve them to the highest degree of the halacha, of whatever I'm capable. I want to take it to the next level. There's somebody who could be a Baal Chesed. Baal Chesed means someone who wants to do Chesed. He's a nice guy, he wants to help people out, so I'll do good things. And then there's a guy who's an Ohev Chesed. What's Ohev Chesed? He loves Chesed. What's the difference? The guy who's a Baal Chesed will do the nice thing. He's a good guy. The guy who's Ohev Chesed will think 2 steps in advance. How can I create that situation? The guy who does Chesed is a guy who, he'll help the old lady onto the bus. It's a great thing. The opportunity's there. There's an old lady, she needs help. Help her. The guy who is Ohev Chesed, when he gets on the bus, he knows that it's a crowded route. He takes that first seat, only to be able to give it to the old lady when she gets on the bus. That's creating the opportunity of Chesed. Every single one of us has the ability to take what we do and turn it up a notch. Turn it to a higher level. Avraham Avinu could have given them anything they wanted to eat, anything he wanted to eat, whatever was on sale at the supermarket that week. He said, no, I'm going to give them whatever I can put as much Kedusha as possible into. That's what I'm serving. The meat was secondary. Kedusha was first. We all have that same opportunity. We can serve food, or we can serve love. We can serve Kedusha. We can make a change in the world by just doing these small little things and thinking in advance. You may not see the reward right away. Possibly you may never see it. Possibly you'll see it in 38 years from now. When we do that, not only are we affecting and changing the people that we're helping, but more importantly, we're affecting and we're changing ourselves and turning ourselves into bigger, better people. My bracha to all of us is that we should always look and recognize for those opportunities where we can grow, not just the right path, but the super path. Make opportunities where we'll grow and we'll change ourselves and the people we're helping and the entire world as a result.